Let's start with what the big news is here. Our exchange went viral. So what does that mean? Well, likely it means that more of you are watching right now. And that's great as long as we're all on the same page, okay? This is not the head of the hate parade to take down the artist formerly known as Kanye. I'm not a hater, okay? He's a great artist. He's saying things that are ugly and obvious. And I believe that we need to come together to condemn bigotry. Now is the time. Anti-Semitism is on the rise in the United States. The Anti-Defamation League is putting out a report that it's up about a third, and it's very concerning. The incidence of harassment and assault year after year in the last 4 years, increasing problem. Online, increasing animus. And it is not a coincidence, as we will discuss with our first guest, that there is a rise in anti-Semitism hand in hand with a rise of white nationalism. Both are getting worse. Now, we see this celebrity being paraded as a soundbite machine of anti-Semitism's greatest hits. It's a problem that points to this bigger concern of hate on the rise. Now, as for him, you know, I don't understand why some people have a problem with this, but really it's about fringe mentality, and I think that most of you will get this easily. Two things can be true at once. The man is spouting anti-Semitism, period. I went out at him about his responsibility and his wrongness. Here's a taste.
People have had their careers destroyed. That's why they keep on saying, oh, well, yeah, Ye's dangerous because he will keep talking. He will keep
what
talking.
You say. It's when you say Jewish people own the black vote. When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
Own the black voice.
These are not things that you can say coming from a place of intelligence or love or anything productive.
I'm coming from a place of love and a place of we're not going to be owned by the Jewish media anymore. If you think about every celebrity,
Kanye.
If you look at their contract, and I'm going to finish what I'm saying.
I know, but you have to understand this idea of the Jewish media, that's not how it works. You're talking to me right now.
So every celebrity,
go ahead.
Every celebrity has Jewish people in their contract. This is not hate speech. This is the truth.
It's clearly not the truth. It is the truth, however. That's the first time I've been la and not taken the phone of the person doing to me, because up until that point, it had only been my children. Now, look, this man can hold bad beliefs and also be struggling, and by all accounts, he is. That matters, too. And I talked to Ye about whether he's okay. Have you been taking care of your health? And in terms of making sure that you are behaving and thinking at your best?
I love what the way you worded it. What you don't realize is when it runs back, people are going to say, wow, have you making sure you're behaving? If you run that back,
that's not what I'm saying.
You're going to be like, no.
That's not what I'm saying. You're trying to cheapen the point. I'm trying to make sure that you're healthy and you're taking care of your health.
Did you work out this morning?
No.
Okay. The thing is, okay, so when do I have a...
But I took my medicine. But I took my antidepressant medication that I take every day. Oh, I can't believe you admitted that. Why? You don't take medication? You think it's an unusual thing? We got to get past this, okay? And, looking at the reactions to this interview, it's so interesting to me that people are fine saying, whoa, can you listen to what he's saying? There's something wrong with that guy. And calling him unstable, but only as an insult. Isn't that interesting? You're fine saying it as long as you're playing into a stigma that having that kind of struggle, having that kind of illness makes you weak or less than. Interesting, right? And my being concerned that he's not healthy is by some of you, most of you, get it. And you're like, good, because obviously someone has to talk to him about this. He's not taking care of himself. I agree with you. That's why I did it. I would have much rather done it in private, and I'm happy to be there. And I think he deserves the help. But the idea that it's me excusing him? No. Pointing to a health issue isn't mitigating anything, okay? It's not an excuse. His words are inexcusable. The fact that he is struggling and not treating a potential mental illness is not an excuse. It's an explanation for why he may not be in control of what's coming out of his face. Not that he doesn't own it, not that he mustn't be responsible. Two very different points, and two things can be true at once. Now, what matters now is not so much trafficking in what he was saying, okay? Leave that to social media, all right? For us, it should be why he's saying it and who is fanning the flames of this dumpster fire. Why is the man formerly known as Kanye West being celebrated by Fox News and social media's furious few on the far right? It's interesting that he changed his name, and I'm sure he has his own personal reasons, and that's fine. But it's also interesting because he clearly does have a new identity as a wedge in the battle between left and right. And that is one reason I believe so many are letting him fulminate about anti-Semitism. What he is saying is anti-Semitic, period. But it also allows for the owning of the left. And look, I'm not impartial on any suggestions about Jewish people. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. I have tremendous respect for their faith. Part of my family is Jewish. Men and women in the family that we've chosen for ourselves are Jewish. Being called mishpucha, Hebrew for extended family, is a great source of pride to me. So I'm not open to any suggestion of animus about them. And that was as polite as I can be about it. But this does not need to be personal to penetrate. We all know it's not fair to demonize a faith or any group, not here. Especially a group that has such a present threat and a past of persecution. It doesn't matter that the speaker is black or a billionaire or a big star. And this is such an obvious point that I was surprised he had gone relatively unchecked in interviews until last night. Because this is not about free speech, as some of his newfound political pals suggest. This is not about the First Amendment. The Constitution doesn't say, hey, it's okay, say whatever you want, no consequence. The First Amendment is about Congress making no law to restrict free speech, to seek redress, a free press, to force faith upon us. Yes, yes, Congress can't do that. But there is every bit a reciprocal right for the rest of us to expose and reject what someone says. Anti-Semitism is anti-American. Having the right to say ugly things doesn't make it right to say ugly things. And this is not about my giving him a platform. He already has a huge one. This was about countering what his platform has already afforded him. I could have said nothing. But you know what? What you ignore, you often empower. I believe a good instruction for what we should do with the opportunity of his invective comes from Judaism. You know, this has been a week of celebration for them as part of the new year. And it ended tonight with a pledge to continue the work of faith in trying to get better. Simchas Torah. I know that's not the right way to say it. I know I'm supposed to say simcha, but I can barely speak English. And in that celebration, it's about renewing the commitment to study, to learn, to get better. We all need to come together out of common concern for decency in our politics and in our society. We are better than what he or ye is putting out there. And the enthusiasm from others for his words are a concern. My father learned from his counsel. My father was Mario Cuomo, three-term governor of New York. His counsel was the Rabbi Israel Malshowitz, and he was a great man. And he taught my father that all that really matters in his faith and for all of us, no matter what you believe, are the ideas of tzedakah and tikkun olam, that we have a responsibility to be ethical and to fight for the right thing, and that we are here to repair the universe. Tikkun olam means to complete the work of creation. It is up to us to refuse to surrender to the ugly and obvious and push for better and more decent dealings, no matter our disagreements. We are better than what is putting out there and celebrated as free speech, okay? And the enthusiasm is just as big a problem. And the timing bothers me and my first guest, because as we have the ugly undertones of white nationalism popping up, all of a sudden we have this cancerous companion of anti-Semitism bubbling all the way up to yay.